Today, I will be giving a presentation on the renowned Italian painter Canaletto. Born in Venice in 1697, Canaletto is regarded as one of the greatest painters of cityscapes and landscapes in the 18th century. His ability to capture intricate architectural details and atmospheric effects in his works set him apart from his contemporaries. Who was Canaletto? Giovanni Antonio Canaletto, better known as Canaletto, was an Italian painter born in Venice in 1697. Canaletto painted cityscapes and landscapes. In his family, Canaletto came from a line of painters, and his father was a scenic artist. He was initially trained by his father and brother, Bernardo Canal, before studying under Luca Carlaveras, a renowned city view painter. A majority of Canaletto's early works focus on architectural and urban scenes, often depicting Venice's canals and architecture. Early in the 18th century, Canaletto worked as a scenic painter in the enchanting city of Venice for theatrical productions. Although Canaletto is primarily recognized for his later accomplishments as a vedute painter, where he had deftly captured the intricate nuances of Venice, his humble beginnings in theater painting truly shaped his artistic acumen. He was heavily influenced by his father, Bernardo Canal, who was also an accomplished painter. Bernardo's occupation as a scenic painter in the theater may have given him the inspiration for scenic painting. As an assistant to his father, Canaletto created stunning backdrops and stage designs for the vibrant theaters of Venice. In addition to learning perspective, composition, and light and shadow manipulations, Canaletto gained invaluable skills as a scenic painter. He used these skills to accurately depict architectural marvels and sprawling urban landscapes in his illustrious vedute paintings. To capture the breathtaking panoramas of Venice, Canaletto shifted from scenic painting to vedute artistry. A formidable reputation soon grew as he depicted the city's architectural wonders and meandering canals with unprecedented precision and precision. Among the foremost Venetian painters of the 18th century, Canaletto became one of the most popular and successful collectors of his remarkable vedute paintings. At the beginning of Canaletto's artistic career, he and his brother Cristoforo painted scenes for operas by Fortunato Celleri and Antonio Vivaldi. In 1719, Alessandro Scarlatti composed 2 operas, and Antonio and his father traveled to Rome to design the decorations. As a result of this trip, Antonio gained valuable insight into the work of some of the first vedute artists, Giovanni Paolo Panini and Caspar van Witte. After returning to Venice, Antonio began painting vedute paintings, which brought him widespread fame. During the 18th century, Venetian artists were heavily influenced by a northern painting tradition. Cityscape paintings inspired by Dutch artists of the 17th century flourished in Venice. As the name implies, this genre is also known as vedute, which means view. Vedute painters, also known as vedutisti, meticulously depicted distinctive city elements and landmarks, making them easily recognized. To take a cohesive picture, they had to master the rules of perspective. A vedutisti staged a city's monuments as though they were on a stage. During the 18th century, vedute painting and scenography developed together, sometimes exaggerating specific buildings' proportions. The vedutes of Canaletto depict comic and dramatic scenes of Venetian life in miniature as theater stages. In the Capriccio view of the courtyard of the Palazzo Ducale with the Scala dei Giganti, the scene is set in an eminent spot of Venetian life, the Doge's Palace, the city's seat of power. In addition to exercising legislative, executive, and judicial powers, the Doge of Venice served as the Republic's supreme authority. The courtyard of the Doge's palace, famous for its giant staircase, is flanked by two colossal statues of Mars and Neptune, and it was the heart of Venice's political life. In this painting, eminent Venetian personalities and simple folk gather in the courtyard, offering a lively depiction of the city. Canaletto is a celebrated artist known for his precise and realistic portrayals of urban landscapes and architecture. He was instrumental in popularizing the vedute painting genre, which focused on providing accurate and detailed views of cities, particularly Venice. His paintings serve as invaluable historical records that offer insight into the layout and architecture of these cities. Additionally, Canaletto's works are notable for their ability to convey the atmosphere of his scenes, adding a sense of depth and mood to his compositions. He often included classical elements in his paintings, making them feel timeless. Canaletto was particularly skilled in creating vibrant watercolor vedutes that were delicate in their handling. As a result of Canaletto's meticulous attention to detail, Venice is almost like a theatrical setting, with the Grand Canal as the stage, the buildings as the curtains, and the architecture as the backdrop. Venice through Canaletto's eyes. The 18th century Venetian painter Canaletto possessed an unrivaled perspective of his hometown Venice. His paintings were renowned for their topographical accuracy of the city, which featured its canals, bridges, and buildings in meticulous detail. Canaletto's works beautifully showcase the grandeur of Venice's historic palaces, churches, and bridges, conveying their intricate architectural details and splendor. Canaletto's ability to capture the interplay of light and atmosphere in Venice added a dynamic and atmospheric quality to his paintings. He infused his works with depictions of everyday life in Venice, such as bustling marketplaces and Venetians going about their daily routines, which added authenticity and vitality to his works. His inclusion of classical architecture and ruins gave his scenes a timeless quality, which created a sense of cultural depth in his works. European tourists on the Grand Tour highly coveted Canaletto's paintings, acquiring them as souvenirs of their travels. His art helped shape the perception of Venice as a must-visit destination for European travelers, capturing the essence of its unique character, such as its water-bound streets, interplay of light on the canals, and distinctive architectural style. In essence, Venice, through Canaletto's eyes, was a place of architectural splendor, atmospheric beauty, and cultural richness. His meticulous and evocative depictions continue to enchant art enthusiasts and travelers, offering a window into the Venice of the 18th century. The painting view of Santa Maria della Salute from the entrance of the Grand Canal was created by Canaletto in 1727 and is a remarkable representation of Venice through the eyes of the artist. One of Canaletto's defining characteristics as an artist is his commitment to topographical accuracy, which is evident in this painting. He has precisely depicted the architecture and layout of Venice, specifically the Santa Maria della Salute Church and the Grand Canal. The proportions and spatial relationships between buildings are accurately portrayed, making the scene instantly recognizable. Canaletto's talent for creating depth and three-dimensionality in his works is also evident in this painting. The viewer's eye is naturally drawn along the length of the Grand Canal towards the distant church. The receding lines of the canal and the use of scale create a convincing illusion of depth. The architectural detail in the painting is remarkable, particularly in the depiction of the Santa Maria della Salute Church. The building's distinctive Baroque ornamentation and domes are portrayed with exceptional accuracy. The play of light and shadow on the facade of the building adds depth and texture to the overall composition. Canaletto also shows his mastery in capturing the atmosphere of the scene. A Venetian afternoon's warm, soft light is beautifully depicted, creating a serene and inviting atmosphere. The calm waters of the Grand Canal reflect the architecture, adding to the overall beauty of the painting. In addition to the architectural precision and atmospheric conditions, Canaletto includes daily life elements. Gondolas and boats on the canal and figures on the waterfront add a sense of liveliness and authenticity to the scene. So the painting view of Santa Maria della Salute from the entrance of the Grand Canal is an exceptional example of Canaletto's vedute painting style. It offers a visually stunning and faithful representation of Venice's architecture, atmosphere, and daily life in the 18th century. Canaletto's ability to combine technical precision with a sense of place and ambience continues to make his works highly regarded and appreciated by art enthusiasts and historians alike. How accurate are Canaletto's paintings of Venice? Canaletto often sketched out scenes mathematically, drawing the lines of the architecture in pencil with rulers before completing them in pen. However, he also used perspective and critical landmarks to create idealized versions of his native city in his works. Using details to create appealing compositions, he manipulates church towers along canals and paints from an elevated position on the Grand Canal. The paradoxical nature of Canaletto's work is particularly intriguing. He creates exquisite views of his city while cleverly manipulating his scenes. Canaletto records the details of Venice accurately, but he massages it to create an idealized, perfect Venice. What Canaletto gained from the Grand Tour? Venetian tourism was a significant influence on Canaletto's artistic style. Venetian tourism was a major part of the famous Grand Tour undertaken mainly by young, aristocratic English gentlemen. A comprehensive understanding of classical knowledge and independence was sought through this extensive expedition across Europe. As he began targeting tourists in the 1720s, Canaletto shifted his style, focusing on a more clear-cut technique and a sunny sky instead of stormy skies and flickering brushstrokes. Using smaller canvas sizes, Canaletto also capitalized on the lucrative tourist market of the time. Canaletto's favorite view was undoubtedly Piazza San Marco. A few of Canaletto's favorite subjects were views of the Grand Canal and Piazza San Marco, the heart of Venice. Canaletto often painted the same view several times, making it easy to compare them and notice the changes in his technique. Although his technique changed dramatically, the paintings above and below Piazza San Marco are about 12 years apart. In the older depiction of Piazza San Marco, which dates to around 1723, the dark, cloudy sky and building shadows give the scene a more dramatic feel. The awnings are not in the best condition. Some are askew and others are ripped. It is also realistic. Streets look dirty as they would in an 18th century city. The other depiction is a painting of Piazza San Marco that was created in 1730 and shows a beautiful and perfect view of Venice. The colors are bright and the details are carefully crafted, making it an excellent representation of the city. The awnings are all evenly placed, and the elegant pavement can be seen clearly, making it a popular souvenir for British tourists. As a result of his British clients' preferences, the artist Canaletto began making smaller paintings instead of his usual larger pieces. On smaller canvases, as opposed to his previous larger works. In 1768, The art world bid farewell to Canaletto, a prominent 18th century artist, in the city he immortalized through his extraordinary paintings, Venice. His passing marked the end of an era in urban landscape painting, leaving behind a lasting legacy that continues to captivate art enthusiasts and historians alike. Canaletto's demise represented the loss of one of the foremost artists of his time. His mastery of urban landscape painting, particularly his depictions of Venice, left an indelible mark on the art world. His death signified the cessation of new works from his talented hand and the conclusion of a remarkable period in the evolution of this art form. Canaletto's legacy endured long after his departure. His meticulous attention to detail, accuracy in portraying topography, and ability to capture the essence of Venice influenced subsequent generations of artists. His artistic style and techniques served as a wellspring of inspiration for those interested in cityscapes, architectural painting, and the interplay of light and shadow. Canaletto's paintings became invaluable historical documents, offering insights into the architecture, urban planning, and daily life of 18th century Venice. As historical records, his works provided valuable references for researchers, historians, and architects seeking to understand the city's past. Even after his passing, Canaletto's art continued to promote Venice as a cultural and tourist destination. His paintings had already enticed travelers on the Grand Tour to visit the city, and this influence persisted long after his death. Canaletto's demise raised questions about the future of creative succession in Venice. His influence had been profound, and his work was revered. Other artists would inevitably attempt to follow in his footsteps and carry on his legacy, although few could match his precision and artistry. In conclusion, Canaletto's death in 1768 profoundly impacted the art world and the perception of Venice. While it marked the end of his artistic contributions, it solidified his status as a master of urban landscape painting. It ensured that his influence would endure for generations to come. His legacy lives on through his celebrated and studied works, appreciated for their accuracy, attention to detail, and artistic beauty.